Hi guys. So today I am in the all-new Lexus ES. Okay, so the ES has always been a core product of the Lexus brand, and it has something of a rather interesting positioning within the Lexus lineup. So, as you know, the best-selling Lexus model perhaps would be the Lexus RX. That started off as a side-by-side model alongside the Toyota Harrier. Then they renewed one generation after another. Okay, then of course Lexus, being a brand started up by Toyota to compete against Mercedes and BMW, they eventually rolled out the likes of the IS, the GS, and the LS to directly take on the 3 Series, 5 Series, S-Class. So the ES here, it started off as a rebadged Camry. So basically what Toyota saw was that, hey, the Camry, it has credentials to be a proper luxury car. And so what Lexus have done, they took the Camry, they padded up with nicer materials, better soundproofing, and voila, you have the Lexus ES. So whilst the likes of the IS, the GS, the LS take on core Mercedes and BMW models with their rear-wheel drive platforms, there suddenly is now somewhere in there this ES here sitting on the Camry front-wheel drive platform. Now, price-wise, the previous ES retailed for about 250,000 ringgit. So the proposition that it offered essentially was that it was a car that Camry and Accord owners, all right, once they're looking to upgrade. When you're a Camry and Accord owner, the next segment you upgrade to would be, maybe you want to go to a premium segment, but when you jump into a C-Class or 3 Series, you are moving up in terms of badge hierarchy, but you are effectively downsizing your car. So the Lexus ES at that time, by offering a 5 Series and E-Class size vehicle at 3 Series and C-Class pricing, was a no-brainer for those of you guys who want to who are looking for a proper upgrade from your Accord or your Camry or your Tiana. Okay, so now this new Lexus ES makes that proposition a bit difficult. Why? Because it's no longer priced at 250,000, but it starts at 300,000 instead. Yeah, this luxury model that I'm driving here, this is the higher of two variants. This is priced at 330,000 ringgit. So suddenly, the proposition has changed entirely. Okay, so this is no longer that reachable. It's no longer that close. Or should I say, the appeal of this vehicle has shifted further up market. What it means is that on one hand, this is noticeably a far more premium offering, but at the same time, it has also priced itself out of the reach of its traditional clientele that were looking at the 250,000 ringgit price point. They are going to have to fork out quite a lot more in order to get to this, even though it's still cheaper than your S90, your E-Class and your 5 Series, but the gap is no longer so big, especially when you convert it into monthly repayment terms. Going from this to a 5 Series or an E-Class, which is loads more recognizable, is not that big a jump in monetary terms. So how does it justify that big a leap? Now, if let's say that at this point in time you've watched this video and you decided that, screw it, I'm just going to go straight for a 5 Series or an E-Class or a Volvo S90, then yeah, by all means go ahead. Okay, that is something that that cannot be argued with. But if you were to take your time and look at this car from front to rear, you actually do see where your extra money is going to, your substantial amount of extra money is going to. Now, there is good reason why the previous Gen ES was a 5 Series size offering at 3 Series price. One, because it shared a lot of components, including the engine and transmission with the Toyota Camry. You sit inside the car, the build quality, whilst still very good, it felt closer to Toyota level than it is to Lexus level. So in a sense, the previous Gen ES really felt more like a padded up Toyota than a proper Lexus product. This one here, this ES, how does it relate to the Camry? Other than the fact that it uses a variation of the Toyota TNGA platform, next to no relation at all. The engine, let's start with the engine. So in Malaysia, we only get a 2.5 litre engine, hence they call it the ES250. Yep, so for once, we get a badge that matches the engine capacity here. So the ES250 here, it doesn't share the same engine with the Camry. Okay, this ES250 gets Toyota's new dynamic force engine with direct injection. Output wise, this engine makes 204 horsepower, 247 newton meters of torque. Quite an unusual combination of numbers this day and age, admittedly. Okay, but yeah, that's what you get with a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. So it makes more than the Camry, but less than what you get with the German 2 liter turbos. But then again, the way the power is delivered is very pleasant, very smooth. I would actually use the term buttery smooth in terms of its power delivery. So you don't get that kick, that surge of torque, okay, that, you know, with a turbocharged engine that you have to deal with a half-second delay and suddenly it punches you in the gut. But rather, what you get here is that you step on the accelerator, immediately you feel the engine is at work, and immediately you are able to perceive that increase, that noticeable increase in velocity. Okay, that's one thing. So this is I would say this is a fantastic engine, great engine to drive. It's a pity that they don't offer this in the Camry, but looking at the price increase that the Lexus, that the ES now has to deal with compared to its predecessor, I also understand why Toyota is reluctant to put this new engine in the Camry. It is expensive, and really it does feel like a 2-generation leap in terms of smoothness and refinement over the Camry's 2AR engine. Very nice to rev, very smooth, and the note that it makes is also a pleasant one. Now, what about the handling? Dynamics wise, previous generation ES don't offer you much more than a bit more added comfort and refinement over the Camry. This one here, I would say, is much the same, but when you remember how sporty the new Camry has become, then a more refined, a more comfortable version of that is not bad at all. So to start off, this ES does not feel like a boat. It is, the chassis actually has proper sporting qualities. It is a car that, for its size, carries a surprising level of agility. All right, of course, not quite enough to tingle the senses of a hot-blooded enthusiast, but enough that if you want to go anywhere in a hurry, it will do it. What the ES here offers you is a blend of qualities that it marries, there's no doubt it prioritizes smoothness and refinement. So, but what it gives you is that it gives you that added dose of competence, of composure into the chassis that if you need to get anywhere in a hurry, it makes it so easy for you to do so. And you know, yesterday when Bing passed me this car, right, she was telling me she's surprised at how much she likes this. And to be honest, I like this very much too, because yeah, it's still not as outright sporty as a 5 Series or a 3 Series or a BMW. But what you get here is that this car, this is a car that is honest about its priorities. The priorities of this car is to be comfortable, is to be refined. This is a car that's clear about what it wants to deliver, and it's honest about it. But at the same time, okay, it injects just that bit of dynamic competence in there that you don't feel bored driving it. So this is a car that is primarily catered to be a tireless day-to-day driver, but still have just that bit of personality in it that you don't feel bored with it. Yeah, I mean, so you see, now I'm just cornering it over a bad patch of road. It still clearly has not forgotten where its priorities lie, which is to be first and foremost refined and comfortable. It does the job. But overall, I would say that yes, this ES, it has moved itself up a price bracket, but it has earned its promotion. This car earned its promotion to a higher price bracket. Very, very nice to drive. Lovely, absolutely lovely.